Hey, Karen.
Hey, Karen. Hey, Karen.
It was so lame. I fucking loved it.
But you guys, yeah, you loved it.
It was good. It was good.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of the On the Runs podcast. That's right, Erica, whose eyes just lit up. 27.
I can never remember how many episodes in we are. And then you say it, I'm like, wow, we're really doing this.
Yeah, and I'm like thinking just before, I go, wait a second, what number is this? 27. Yep, we're at 27. It is Monday evening. Tomorrow you got a flight to catch.
Yes, I do.
So this is going to be a quickie.
Yes, please.
Not the quickie you're thinking of, everyone, but a quickie episode. We're going to do a little Reach the Beach recap before you go to
Berlin.
And what's in Berlin?
The marathon.
Have you done the Berlin Marathon before?
Yes, I have.
This is your second.
Yep, back in 2019, I had not such a super great experience just from being injured, and it was a very slow race for me. So I'm hoping for a little bit of redemption.
And why do you choose to go again?
It's awesome over there. It is so cool. The city is just full of history, and there's just a lot of cool stuff to see.
So are you traveling for the marathon, or are you traveling for the venue?
Honestly, it's a little bit of both. I don't need it necessarily anymore because I already have it as a star. So this is just a repeat for fun. Yeah, I'm going to go check everything out again. Stuff we missed the first time around.
And you only need Japan for your final Worlds, right?
On deck.
And
it's
is
on
that
deck.
Confirmed next year?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
next fall.
No, it's in March.
What?
Yep,
Oh, it's 6 months away.
Yep, it's always been in March until COVID happened, and then they moved it to October. But the October ones never actually happened, did they?
Do you have your flights?
Haven't gotten that far, but I need to talk to my Uncle Paul.
Well, I'm going to Disney in about 90 days, and I need to get my flights too. I got the voucher. I just got to order the tickets. I got to figure out if we're going a couple days early or not. But let's get to Reach the Beach.
Reach the Beach.
My first Reach the Beach.
You were the virgin. Yes, you were.
was.
Well, actually, you and Jay were.
I think Aaron was too.
Yep.
I think-
He was newbie adjacent.
Okay.
We've had him hang out with us for one of the Ragnars before, but
There was, I think, on your team, let's get into your team, how they assembled, but there was, I think, 6 new penguins.
yes, there were.
So how did the penguins start?
So the penguins were, I think it was the brainchild of Jesse and Sammy. They had done Ragnar in 2015. They were called the Perpetual Motion Squad. So that's where PMS came from. And then the year that we were going to join, it was me and Danielle. Honestly, I'd have to look at pictures who was on that team that first time. I think it was Rachel runs
That's
for
when
medals.
you met Rachel.
Yes, it was. Yep. The original team. Yeah. Let me get back to that. But I don't even know how the name started. We were just throwing stuff out, trying to keep PMS, and Penguins Marching South came up, and we all ran with it, and it stuck.
So the Facebook group for the Penguins Marching South is everyone who's ever been on a Penguins team. So I'm now part of the group because I'm a noob, but I was on the team, Jay as well. But I noticed there's like 25, 27 people there. So you got quite the crew of Penguin OGs.
Because this was like year 5, I think, that we've actually run it. Because we took 2020 off because of COVID, and then 2021, we decided to take off also because we had some pregnant penguins, and we're just like, we'll wait until it's more normal to do it again. So,
well, then this year comes along, and you need some new penguins. So
quite a few.
So how do you acquired me?
Yep.
You pretty much were like Eric.
This is your time, man.
You've asked me probably 5 times until I finally said yes. I was like, I got something else, or no, I'm going to go.
Yeah, you kept pushing it off and pushing it off.
It's like, use me as a backup. You got someone else, use me as a backup. But then you got me on, and then I was able to get my buddy on. Turned in. That was a fun move. I think our van was a great van, and we can get into that later. But
we had such a blast.
Our van. So our team was. Let's go over the list of our team. Our van had you and me.
Yep.
Had Jay.
Yep.
We had
Tori, Aaron, and Karen.
Wow, that rhymes.
Yep. So Tori and Aaron are married, and then Karen is Tori's cousin.
And then Van 2 had some OGs and some noobs as well.
Yep. We had Sammy, Jesse, Danielle. She was newbie. She's one of our listeners as well. So hi, Danielle. Then we had Rachel, who was an OG penguin, her husband, John, and
new husband.
New husband, yes, like brand new. And then newbie Chris.
And good luck, Rachel, who's going out to run the London Marathon.
Yes, she is. Yep, she's going for the majors as well. So this is going to be, I want to say it's her 5th star. So she's almost there too.
So let's get into it. The day before Reach the Beach was a late start. I think we all agree next year we want to do it differently. But we got on the road at 5:30 in Epping, and we're like, we got time for dinner. We went to, I think, a great place for dinner on the way, but I think
they were just understaffed. It was by no fault of their own, but
it was nearly 90 minutes before we got our food. And we'll name drop. It was Cheers and Concord. Sorry, Cheers.
Food was good, but it just took a while.
Because of that, we got to the house. I forget the time, but the second van got there 10 minutes after us.
Yeah.
And they left 2 hours after us.
Yeah, it was like 9:45 or something we rolled up.
So we got this house.
Long time.
We got this house, sleeps 10. We decorate the vans, and I'm like, you girls are something else with these decorations. And little did I know, I mean, our van stood out.
Yes.
But everyone does this. And I kind of thought it was a little crazy at first. When I was supposed to do Reach the Beach before with another team, I never planned on the decoration of the vans and the magnets and the inflatables and everything else that went with it, the horns, the music, the cowbells. I never imagined it. I did not know what I was getting into. And I just thought you girls were something special.
Honestly, that is the most fun part. Just being loud and obnoxious, and you cheer for everybody. And even I broke out the wacky wiggling inflatable arm flailing tube person.
I didn't even know you had this thing.
I made that for Halloween one year. Me, Danielle, and Shauna each have our own. And yeah, so.
Wait, so there's more?
There are more. We had them 2019 when we did it. There were the 3 of us, and we were at Attitash all waving and having fun.
Well, next year, if they're not there, we need to just take the 3 and have others and do 3 wacky waveable inflatable man guys.
It's so much fun. Everybody loves it. We get pictures with people.
You ever YouTube that Family Guy scene?
Oh, yeah. Al Harrington. Yeah. Al Harrington's wacky waving. Oh, all right, forget it. It's too much of a tongue twister.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Hi, I'm Al Harrington, president and CEO of Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Emporium and Warehouse. Thanks to a shipping error, I am now currently overstocked on Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Men, and I am passing the savings on to you!
But yeah, that is a reason I keep coming back for Reach the Beach. It is just an immense show of team spirit, and everybody is just in it for everybody else, and so much of a blast.
It didn't take me long, and I don't even think it took the Red Bull for me to get into it, but it was definitely after I got done with my 3rd leg, which we'll get into. But we are decorating these things in the dark. Mm-hmm. We have no room. Like, the van's pushed up against a tree branch. There's no room.
Yeah.
Karen came in clutch, and she was very artistic.
Oh, her art skills are on point.
And she did the On the Runs window, and it was so amazing. I couldn't believe how good it came out. I just wanted, my handwriting is so sloppy and bad. It just never looks good, even when I try, especially like when you want it to look good for a show.
Oh, yeah.
And she made it look so good. And they drew the little, Jay had the stick figures. Remember Jay drew a stick a stick figure family on the back. Mm-hmm. And he had Karen with the weight because Karen's really into CrossFit, the barbell, yeah. It was fun watching everyone do it. And I really appreciated the effort that went into it after realizing, like, okay, our vans, I think, stood out, especially with the inflatable on the roof. Mm-hmm. If you were looking for us, we weren't hard to miss. We're the ones with the big penguin on the roof.
Yep.
Both vans.
Yep. We wound up buying some new ones this year, and Karen got to name, she was bonding with the new guy and wound up naming him Chili Billy. I don't know if the other team wound up naming theirs.
Well,
usually it's something Italian.
I got to name the little penguin, the little one that wraps around your waist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to name that penguin. Apparently, the new penguins get to name a penguin, and just right away it clicked with me, Crosby.
Yep, it was a pretty good name. I'll give you that.
It's a good name for a penguin. It is a hockey reference, and I'm not a Penguins fan, but instantly I was like, Crosby.
But yeah, that was kind of deviating from what we usually named them, because some of our old penguins, like the one that Van 2 taped to the front of their van with the angry eyebrows on it, that was great. That one was like Fernando. Then we have a big inflatable penguin for inside the van. I have Alfredo.
Is that the one that has the hole in the middle and I was dancing?
No, Alfredo's just like the blow up penguin, not
yes.
the inner tube kind
He
of
kind of
thing.
has a heavy bottom, so he stands up on his own.
Yes. So mine is Alfredo, and he's been around for quite a few years. But Tori just got one and named it Rigatoni, and I'm like, oh, I love it. It's so perfect.
We weren't the only vans out there with setups like this. A couple had unicorns, a couple had cows.
Did you see the llama? There was an inflatable llama. The things you can get these days.
And then one van...
The stick of butter. I had to ask the guy about that. There was somebody who had an inflatable stick of butter, and I was like, all right, you got to tell me the story behind this. And he's just like, oh, butter, BUTR, bringing up the rear, butter. And I was like, so smart. You guys are great. You can get anything off of Amazon these days.
There was one other van with a mustache on the grill.
Yeah.
Huge mustache. It was wider than the van.
I kept seeing it, and I would crack up every time I saw it. It was great.
That was a lot of fun. I can think of other cool, fun things to do. But you guys, I really think you guys stood out. The Penguins stood out. And
We tried to.
I say you guys, I'll include myself as one of them full time if I'm on it again. But we'll see if I get the invite back. It is a big Facebook group. I think I have to wait for the OGs to say yes or no.
Well, I feel like we're kind of getting into some pressure here to make an ultra penguin team for Reach to the Beach, which I'm terrified of. But knowing me, I will probably cave.
I am terrified of it too. But I'm also like, I really want to do it because when I know I have that challenge, I get into gear.
We would just need to have our own driver.
We would.
I'm not driving. I didn't this time. Not doing it again.
Unbelievable. So Erica has a fear, everybody, of driving a big vehicle. You drive a little coupe.
I have a tiny, tiny little car. Rarely do I drive anything bigger than like the size of your truck. So it is very difficult for me to drive anything else.
And part of the goal was that I wanted Erica to drive even a mile, and she just wouldn't do it. Not that we didn't really pressure you to do it, but we kept teasing you, saying Erica's up, Erica's driving.
You can tease me all you want. I was not going to cave.
But pretty much Jay drove the entire time, and I drove when Jay was running.
Do you have his Venmo, by the way? He will not give up Venmo details. We have to owe him gas money.
I do have his Venmo.
All right, later.
I don't think he's too worried about it, but I'll send it to you.
I'm going to send him extra just because he did drive the entire time.
Well, I'm not. I sent him his gas money. I didn't think of any extra.
Well, you don't have to because you did some driving too, but I owe you guys big time.
Well, we really enjoyed it. We'll get into getting lost later.
Yeah.
But we were a little bit of the noobs there. So let's get into the race.
Yes.
All right, we were decorating. We were up very late. Jay and I did a little hot tub time machine.
Yes, you did.
At the, if we're paying for an Airbnb, there's a hot tub. You got to use it.
I could hear you from the bunk beds in the room next door.
We spent about 45 minutes in the hot tub and got about 4 hours of sleep. Jay was my cuddle buddy. We had a king size bed. It was glorious.
You guys are ridiculous.
You could have fit in between the two of us, and none of us would have ever known we were sleeping next to anyone.
Well, that's what last year I did it. Me, Danielle, and Shauna all had a king, like the king size bed, and you honestly don't even touch anybody.
So
room.
Jesse slept on the couch, but Karen took two chairs together, pushed them together like where the front faces the front, and it was shaped like a crib. It was almost the perfect size for her. She said about 2-3 inches too short.
Oh man.
So we got up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Got to Bretton Woods, checked in.
Yeah, and then it was just the waiting game. We had a 6:30 a.m. start, so we were just hanging out, trying to force out those pre-race poops,
Trying to get excited, trying to get moving.
We were very tired. We needed those Red Bulls in the morning. But.
Well, I actually purposely did not drink mine because I was like, okay, I got a 3.9 mile run. I just got to make it through that, and then I can eat breakfast and go.
Yep.
I'm not a morning runner. I'm trying to become
either.
a morning workouter.
I wish I could be. Sleep is too important to me.
I set my alarm this morning for 5:45 too, and I woke up and I was ready to go, and then it's like 45 minutes later. It's too late.
Yep.
I'm going to get there. I am.
Someday.
I'm going to get there. But Jay did the first leg. Thank God none of us were there. And then you did leg 2.
Yep. Jay was so fast. That was a 1.4 mile leg that he had.
He's a beast.
And half of it was up a mountain. I mean, yes, you can make up ground going down, but he did it in like 11 minutes or something like that, 12 minutes.
So to explain to everyone who Jay is, Jay's not a big runner. He might run once a week. Most of his running is done in CrossFit gyms, running from one thing to the other, but he's a CrossFit guy. Jay was probably our strongest athlete, maybe just our strongest person.
It was him and Karen who were beasting through this thing.
Karen could probably give him a run for his money.
Yes.
But, he maybe didn't have the distance. I mean, 1.4 miles up and down that mountain was nothing to him.
He did great. Yep. So he handed off to me really early. It was very, very cold. It was like 38
so
degrees. I'm not used to that yet.
I was not ready.
I had to dig out some. I like did not plan for the cold weather enough, but I did have a pair of leggings and a long sleeve shirt. So I had a bunch of tie dye on. I had my tie dye pro compression socks, my tie dye penguin shirt, long sleeve, and
we were all debating
gloves.
what to wear when we ran because it was like, you don't want to wear too much, you don't want to overheat, but
yeah,
I think we all wore too much, but we didn't really wear that much. Jay wore pants.
Yep.
I didn't. I knew I wouldn't have to, but I wore a long sleeve. I wish I didn't.
It was still cold during mine, and I'm glad for that very first leg. I was properly dressed because my toes were frozen through the whole thing. I had 4.2 miles, and I was frozen.
You ran around that Mount Washington hotel. That looks sweet.
Yes. Oh, it was gorgeous. I'll have to send you the pictures. We can put them on the Instagram.
Was
account,
it
but
your first time doing leg 2?
No, it was not. I had done it, I think 2017 was the last time I did that leg. But it is gorgeous. Sunrise around the Mount Washington. There's like steam coming off the lakes and the ponds. And,
Yeah, no, I love it.
It is absolutely gorgeous. So that was a very nice start to the race.
Well, my start sucked.
Why did yours suck?
Well, you came in and I'm like, I got 3.9 miles. This is nothing. I run up and down a little hill, and then it says it's 3.9 miles of easy running. And it looks easy. It's just flat and straight, maybe slightly uphill. But I'm running on this big, wide, they make it sound really nice because they say you have a big, wide breakdown lane to run on. You got all this room. And that thing sloped so much where I felt like my right leg would drop a full inch lower than my left leg. It actually kind of sucked more on my left leg because the step would be maybe shorter.
I see.
Right? And I was getting like shin splints, which I never get. It like happens to me like twice a year. And I was like, maybe it's the morning, maybe it's the road. And I'm like, man, I might really struggle if this is the easy leg. Now, that road was also long.
Yes.
And straight.
Yes.
And that just sometimes makes you feel like you're going forever and you're getting nowhere.
Yes.
And it was great when I got off the road and went into this little trail. And I wish I ran that trail the entire time because I felt like I was moving wicked fast, even though I'm probably doing an 11-minute mile through the woods there. But I felt good. And then the run ended. And I was so happy it ended because I needed it to end so I could eat and like wake my head up and crack that Red Bull, which I was so afraid to crack that Red Bull because I knew it would happen when I would. And when I cracked that Red Bull, I still wasn't able to poop. It's like
Took a while.
Something going on.
You needed your Mountain Dew, right?
Which I didn't have.
No, you didn't have
had
a
one in a
Mountain
couple
Dew.
days now. I'm really trying to quit. Soda's killing me, man.
Yeah. But hey, if that's the key, the key to unleashing the
I need
gates.
someone who's listening who's like a nutritionist, just like help me with a plan. I know. If anyone's
gotta get
out there
Fit
listening.
Cookie, Miss Fit Cookie.
Oh, Holly.
Oh, I didn't see her at Reach the Beach. I've seen her a couple times at the past ones, but not this year.
I don't know. I didn't see anything on social media.
Okay.
But anyways, my legs sucked. I hated it. And I was not I was trying to get in a good mood, and it took me, I think, after Erin's run when Karen went, or no, it was the long run for Tori.
Yeah.
'Cause she had the 10 miles.
Yeah.
And we started really we actually strapped the Penguin to the roof then. We didn't do it the night before. And I drank my Red Bull, and then I got the Penguin. And that was it. There was this one guy who was like 10 miles. I'm going to be really slow. And everyone had to do 10 miles in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because there was a cutoff. Like you couldn't send off your runner 7 until 11:15 in the morning. So you could take your time. You could walk it. Like there was just so much time to kill. We sent Tori off at 9:30.
So we stopped the van. We were playing music as loud as we could, and we were dancing on the street. And people would run by dancing. And then the one guy who was like, "I'm going to be slow," he goes, "I'm slow everywhere, and I'm just going to do slow burpees and slow." So he ran by. I go, "Burpees."
He actually did them.
And he did burpees. So the next person runs by. They did burpees. Then we were like, "This is the burpee station."
That was a girl. She did 3. We're like, yeah.
That was. I'll never forget her. That was number 222.
Well, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, and she was doing burpees, and a few others did, and burpees kind of became a theme.
Yes. Oh my God. We'll get into more of that later.
But it took that, and then it took that to wake me up. It took the Red Bull, and then I was really getting a little goofy. I was getting goofy with the Penguin floaty.
That's how we roll.
Doing the dancing. I was getting in the spirit of everything, and then Jay was following behind me, and That was fun. And then we got into the whole magnet game where we're throwing the magnets and trying to get the magnets on.
Slap them on.
Yeah, but we're trying to see who can throw it the farthest onto a van and get a stick. It was fun.
I have to say, before we forget, when we were at the exchange, I think it was the exchange for Tori's, she was runner 6. So we were in that parking lot and we were just going around like talking to people.
Attitash.
No, it was before Attitash.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So we were just waiting and we were just talking to some of the other teams parked there. And I found a van of ultra runners. They were called the Strangers with Candy. And I absolutely adored them. They would go around saying like, free candy. They're only mildly roofied or something. Only a little bit of roofies in these. But, oh yeah, free candy. Just climb in the back of our van. Free puppies. Like all those kind of things.
Hey, little boy, want some candy?
You like popsicles?
And then they had like free sweaty hugs. And I'm like, all right, I'll take one. And he's like, well, I'm not sweaty yet, but you can have a hug anyways. So, and then I brought a bag of candy over because I'm like, hey, you guys gave us candy. We'll give you candy. And he picks out some Swedish fish. He goes, I am Swedish. And his name was Mike.
That's right. He was.
Yep. He was like my favorite one I found out there. I was digging that van.
Just roofied a little.
I was like, I'll trade you candy for a magnet. So that's on my fridge now.
You know what was really fun too during that 10-mile stretch was the Penguin Ski Club.
Telling you, man, every single year, no matter which van you're in, we always stop because we always go by there. And we have to take the pictures. Like I just made a reel about it. So you'll have to check out my Instagram for that. But yeah, it's just, we always stop and take pictures. It's just the place to do it for the Penguins.
I think you missed an opportunity for both vans to be there at the same time.
We did not coordinate that enough, but
it's on the 6th leg.
Yep.
And because we went there, we parked there, we cheered everyone on.
Yep.
We saw the same people like on that leg like 4 times. It was great.
Yeah.
Because it was like we're following them with their own personal cheerleaders with the Penguin outfits. But Tori stopped there when she was running and we got to hang out and she hung out with us for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we took a bunch of pictures because it was her run. But like we said, we had till 11:15. So
yeah,
if that happens again, we got to just say Van 2 meet us at the Penguin place because they were there like a couple hours before, took their pictures.
It gets a little tricky with them though because they go to Attitash to decorate their van. So they need the time unless they wanted to wait.
I have the solution. Just go to the Penguin Ski Club to decorate the van.
Yes. But it's only a mile, like 1.4 away from Attitash, so they would have to have the next runner ready. There's
They're
logistics.
Good.
We'll talk. But
They're good. Logistics were tough, but
Yes.
that one's manageable.
Yep.
We need the group photo.
Yep.
All right, everyone who's listening who's a Penguin, we're going to meet next week at the Penguin Ski Club to remake the team photo.
I will be virtual. I will be there virtually. So yeah, after Tori finished her run, we got to relax for a change. So that was finally good. Get some real food in us.
Yeah, we got the best food.
Oh my God. Thank you, Jay, for the suggestions and actually knowing things about the Conway area.
Wait, was it really his suggestion or he
knows the restaurant?
Well, he had a few in mind, but they were closed. So I thought we just kind of took the first one we saw open that looked good.
But he knew about it and he told us.
All
so
right.
go ahead,
So
spill the beans.
We'll give him partial credit. We went to we went to Peaches in North Conway.
Ah, so delicious.
It's like a home, and they just fit tables everywhere they can, and they got an outdoor area and an indoor area. We went indoor just because it was quicker. We ordered our food, and we got it in 6 minutes.
Oh, it was great.
And this is the kind of food like, okay, you go to a fancy restaurant and you get this white plate with like, your pork chop on it and some special decorations. And all you see is like 95% white plate. And that's all you got. Well, this place is the kind that fills your plate and you don't know where your plate is because your food is on top of the entire thing. You have so much food and I don't think we left any scraps.
Oh, I housed mine. I got like brunch. I had French toast and eggs and bacon. I ate the entire thing.
I had like a 4-egg America's Lovers omelet with a side of bacon, a side of home fries. We asked for water. They just brought us the freaking pitcher.
Yeah.
And they kept refilling it. They were so cool and so great. It was such a cool little nice home. It felt like a home cooked meal.
And the waitress was a good photographer too. She took a group picture of us while we were waiting for our food.
But she didn't just take any photo. What'd she do? She knew what she was doing.
She got up on a chair. She's trying to get the good angles. What'd she say? Like making sure there were no double chins.
She goes, I know how to get rid of that double chin.
We appreciate it. I think her name was Mary. Was it Mary?
Might have been Mary.
Okay.
There was something about Mary, that's for sure. There was another Mary, but we'll get into her. She might come on.
Wink, wink, Mary. That's that one.
Mary was her real name, but her alias is something else.
No, Mary's not her real name.
Okay, maybe Mary is her alias. I forget.
I remember her real name.
We met a ton
Will
of
not
people.
say it on the air.
It was Nicole.
But he will apparently. So, okay. So
Drop the name.
So yeah, we all had a wonderful brunch and then we could finally go to relax.
And-
Where did we go?
All right, so you guys were like, we're going to go to this White Lake State Park. And I'm thinking, we don't have state plates. We're going to need to pay for it. Why are we going here? Again, I'm the noob. Jay and I were in the front seat. So Jay's driving, I'm navigating. I'm just following the binder. There's a binder telling us where to go.
Thank you, Jesse.
So I think this is something that you and your team have created over the years. I didn't know everyone was going to be there. Now, we were some of the first ones there. So I'm like, there's maybe 2 teams before. So I'm like, okay, a few teams come here. Everyone from Reach the Beach who was in a van 1 was there.
That is the best place to go because you can't go to the major exchange until 4:00 in the afternoon.
And I guess they prep for it. They know we're coming. They let you right in.
Yep.
It was like 100 to 300 homeless people in sleeping bags laying on the beach, laying under the trees, just taking naps. And I got so many pictures of this. I'm going to post them.
Yeah.
But I was just like, holy cow, this is amazing. And we're talking again, 200 plus people just all sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this gorgeous, sunny, but breezy day.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe only 10 people went in the water.
Yeah, it was a little too cold to actually go in.
The water was actually nice and warm.
But getting out was...
From what I heard. But getting out was like that cold. Now you got to heat up. So I thank God for you. Okay, so my week last week was hectic. I remembered everything but a sleeping bag, blanket, and pillow.
Yep.
And you had this, what do you call it?
So it's one of those inflatable like chair kind of things. I got it off of Amazon. I think it's called a Chilbo Baggins.
Yeah, it's more like, I would say more like an inflatable couch.
Yeah. Yeah. But you just kind of like run around and it fills up with air and you roll the end. So it is kind of like a...
And it was so breezy. I didn't have to look like a silly dude running around trying to fill it up. Nobody did. But so many people had those.
Yep.
And then a lot of them had hammocks. But one person had a hammock.
She's still pissed about this.
But when you buy these hammocks, you also have to buy...
the straps.
Right.
She thought it came with it. Although she did show me all of the tags and stuff, and it did seem like they came with it.
So our friend Sarah, I mean, we love that you came and hung out with us, but, she just laid on her hammock that was on the ground and felt bad.
Yeah, there's no cushion to that.
Oh, man. But your
Poor
thing
thing.
came in clutch. Thank you. I actually got a decent nap there.
I'm glad.
Oh, it was clutch. And
I
the place
got
was
zero
great.
sleep.
It made so much sense to me after we were there, like what it was. And I just thought it was your spot. No,
Well, it is our spot. That's the best place to go.
it was a beautiful
Clutch.
spot. So, and then I was thinking to myself, like, no way do I ever want to be in Van 2. Van 2 life can't be as good as this.
Though, I have done Van 2, and it really just depends on your teammates, and you just get to take a nap in different spots, and it's not that bad. It's really not as bad as you think.
Well, we'll have to try it.
We'll give it a shot someday.
Can't hate on it till I try it.
Right. So, yeah, after our nice nap, we got to get ready for the next round of running. So we went over to one of the next exchange points and sent Jay off.
And at this point, I think we're all feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
We got a nap. We got a ton of food, a lot of carbs.
I didn't get a nap, but I was too wired.
Yeah, but I was feeling great. But I had like an 8-mile hard run. I was had some anxiety. Like, I don't know if my first one really sucked. This one's more than double that. And the elevation was like wicked.
Yeah, this is where the real hills start to come into play. I mean, I don't really remember the hills from like the first Van 2 section, but ours really like kicks it into gear.
And for some reason, I felt great. How about you?
I actually felt really good too, except I had to stop a couple of times to tie my shoes. That was
Me too.
rule number 1 from Peloton. Make sure you double knot your trainer laces. And I failed twice.
I brought 2 pairs of shoes and I switched for run 2. And I had those new orange ones that I really have only worn 4 times.
Yep.
They kept coming untied on the right shoe. And in the third run, it came untied a couple times on the left shoe. But I was running great splits for me while having to stop and tie my shoes a couple times. In the hills, I didn't walk up one.
Good for you.
Ran up every hill. And when I got to the hardest hill, you've yet to pass me. And I know we're skipping your run. But I'm like, they've yet to pass me. And if they come up to me walking on this hill, I'm going to be like, ugh. And then you did halfway up that hill. There comes the van with the penguin.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did have to walk a few little sections because my hills were steep. And it was just, you felt like you weren't going anywhere if you ran.
There was that one hill I remember we were driving and being like, oh, she has to run up this.
I'm not going to lie. I did walk. I did walk a little bit, but I still managed to keep a pretty fast clip. So I got some passes. And past some people.
I would say the cool weather at the time came in clutch. Maybe later when we're trying to sleep, it didn't. But the cool weather during that run.
Oh man, I ran my second leg. It was just like at sunset and starting to get dark, and I had a tank top and shorts, and I felt wonderful. Like it was just cool enough where I didn't overheat or anything. So that was the perfect temperature.
I actually overheated a little because I wore the long sleeve with a bright t-shirt over it.
Oh.
And the long sleeve was the running type of long sleeve, but I'm like, I should have just gone with the t-shirt.
Right.
And then the other thing I want to invest in, this is going off, but I want to get like a head bandana, not a bandana, but something on my head because when the breeze comes, the side right here above my ear gets so cold and it like gives me the shivers.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll find you something for that.
Christmas is coming up. But yeah, that was fun. Running through the night was different, in the dark night.
Thank God there's a lot of other runners around because it does get kind of creepy out there if you're not around people. And
it was really cool. At one point, I'm running down obviously a long stretch that's straight, and everyone had on a red light, but some had green. It was like a light up. It was like a Christmas. It was like the street was lit up for Christmas.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Then there was some blue or other ones, but the red and the green were great because it was like Christmas in September.
I like that.
Then Erin ran, and this is where some things got. Maybe we were starting to get a little tired, a little hangry, and Jay and I are in front, following directions.
Yeah, we GPS'd the next exchange point, but there were different ways to get there, so it was taking us more a direct route as opposed to the way that the runners actually went.
And so at one point, Erica's like, "Why didn't you follow the runners?" I don't know. We're following the GPS. We're telling this. You wrote it on the binder. This is where we're going. You've done this race how many times? It's our first time.
See, that's what happens when you pop 2 newbies in the front seat. So I should have said something sooner, but
everyone in the back's like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about it." But why didn't you just follow the runners? I don't know.
So sorry, Aaron. We missed your whole leg. He did pretty well, though. He did really well.
There was about a minute of me and Jay looking at each other like,
should we turn around?
Well, but we're like, you think they would tell us like what to do here? And we're like, you can't get an answer. And we're like,
here I am sitting in the back seat too. I'm like, oh, there they go. That way over to the right as we're going down a different hill. I was like, oops. Oh, well, what's done is done. You live and you learn, right?
We stopped. We got gas and snacks right then. And I think after snacks, everyone was good.
Oh, I had a chocolate milk and I did my see a chug, send a chug to Mr. Dave there.
That's right.
That was the best I could do. So a lot of fun.
So Aaron finished his run. Karen did her run. And then
Tori finished again.
That's right. And then we went to Bear Brook.
Yes.
And again, the tiredness came into play. When did we get there? Like 2 a.m., 1 a.m.?
All I know is that I fell asleep around 2:30. So we were trying to figure out where exactly we had to go around 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a late morning.
The binder just said Bear Brook State Park.
Yes.
Didn't say where.
Nope.
Bear Brook State Park is the largest state park in the state of New Hampshire.
I learned something today.
I've been there many of times on my mountain bike. I know where the campground is.
Yep.
I don't exactly know where the pavilion is. You plug it in on your GPS, it shows you like a bunch of different points. No pavilion.
What's the name of that road that it's actually on so we can come back and listen to this another time and remember where to go?
It was on Deerfield Road.
There you go.
I remember that.
Yep.
So eventually we found it, and we weren't the only van lost.
Oh, no. There was another van in front of us that turned around and we're like, do you guys know where you're going?
Right. And
no, you don't. We don't either.
we figured it out. But that's where tiredness came in. And maybe there was some crankiness in the van.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
happens.
at that point, you're up for almost an entire day. And I mean, I didn't nap at all from that point. I was up at like 4:15, 4:30, and it catches up with you fast. So people get snippy. I mean, that's how it rolls. But
right, there was a little snippiness.
Yeah.
But I still think the people in our van, we meshed the best. At least our van, we're a good mesh.
Yeah.
And in the end, we still love each other.
Yes, we do.
And we slept that night in the van. And again, remember I said I forgot my sleeping bag and my blanket? Well, I just wore some extra layers, wore my gloves, my winter hat, and I froze my tail off.
It was very cold.
I remember being 4:30 and just I couldn't fall asleep. I was so cold. I would like fall in and out every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And eventually I got you all to say, yeah, let's turn the van on and run the heat. Why the heck not?
By the way,
why weren't we doing it the whole time?
You were snoring like you would not believe.
Good.
I had to crank up my white noise in my headphones.
Why didn't you get a recording of that?
Because I was too freaking tired. I was like, ugh.
So this had to be like during the night.
This was like right when we were falling asleep, like 2:30 in the morning.
Because I remember you guys let me lie down for probably another 90 minutes after everyone really woke up.
Yeah.
Call this after 5.
How did you sleep through that? We were not quiet.
I didn't sleep.
Oh, you were
I heard
laying down.
everything, but I know I wasn't snoring then.
Okay.
I was just lying down trying to just re-energize, recharge.
Yeah.
No, I was not sleeping, but I couldn't move. That's what it was. I couldn't move. It's like when you're in bed and you don't want to get out, so you're just laying there and like.
Yeah.
I was so tired. I wasn't even looking at my phone. I was just that tired.
Right.
But no, I wasn't sleeping.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
So I heard everything you guys said about me.
I hope it was nothing bad.
Oh, I know what you
I think
said.
it was pretty much just like, how the hell is he still asleep right now? How is this happening? Oh, man.
That was so I was really happy to get out of that place. Jay started. I was not looking forward to my run, but Jay started. So remember, Jay is a very fit athlete.
Yes,
but he doesn't have the distance. He could do the distance, but he took advantage of a wild card.
So what the wild card is, his leg and my leg blended together. So there's a certain point where I could take over for him at any point. So I think he had to do a minimum of 4.5 miles. So we're like, why don't we just split the difference? He had technically 8 miles and I had just under 3. So we're like, why don't we each do 5.5? So I had you drive a mile past that first sign that said wild card. And I jumped out and took it from him there. So he had the short end of the stick, though, because he had all the uphills. And then I had a lot of downhills. And he was not happy with me.
And if we do that again, we're driving another half mile.
Sure.
Because the view from another half mile down was amazing. And it really would help wake you up because the sun's out right there. And it's just, you're looking at a view and sometimes just like, yeah.
I gotta say though that I got 2.5 hours of sleep in the van, and that was enough to perk me back up again. It was enough.
Good. Those roads were awesome, by the way. That was my favorite section that I ran. Maybe 113 in the Center Harbor area was, but it was dark. Right?
Yeah.
But I was so by myself. So you and I exchanged in Candia. I passed one person in the first 100 feet. So there was a kill.
Nice. Oh, shout out to Katie and Dan for coming out to cheer for a couple of minutes.
Katie goes, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, she goes, "Yeah, you're not enjoying this." She goes, "Are you not having fun?"
Miserable at this
She goes,
point?
"You are not yourself." I'm just like, I don't know. I'm tired.
Tired? Did you poop? You didn't poop that morning?
I did just poop. Yes, I did. I did at Bear Brook.
Perfect.
Yes. But no, I mean, I'm like, Katie, I'm tired. I don't want to run right now.
You know what, though? On your leg, you seemed like you were having fun. You were sending us some Snapchats and we were talking, and you had some pretty good dad jokes, if I recall.
There's this guy on Instagram and he'll do these, just look up hashtag Hey Steph, STEPH, okay?
Yep.
So look up Hey Steph and he does these jokes where he'll be like, "Hey Steph." "Yes, Justin." I went to my therapist the other day and I told him my life felt like I was in a TV show. And he says, let me know if you have any more episodes. Corny dad jokes.
Yep.
The corny dad jokes.
Do you want to tell the listeners what you invented?
So I did a couple throughout that morning, actually, trying to cheer myself up because they just popped up on my Instagram, but I would change it from Hey Steph to Hey Karen.
I'm sure she appreciated it too.
And I the first 2 legs, I didn't run with my phone, but I did run with it for the third. And at one point, I'm so lonely and by myself, took a couple pictures. I'm like, I could send you guys a Snapchat and say where I am. Mm-hmm. And then I sent a Snapchat and said, Hey Karen, my wife asked me to go to the store and pick up 6 Sprites. But when I got home, I realized I picked 7 up. And you guys never responded. And I'm like, maybe they didn't see it until I got back from the van and you guys were like,
you were a dork.
But the van loved it, you said.
We did love it. We were cracking up. But so right as you were filming yourself talking at some point, you were doing some Snapchat as we were rolling up right behind you.
That was on purpose.
Oh, you saw us coming?
I knew you were coming, so I was going to do one because at one point I was also like, geez, I'm taking all these videos and pictures and I'm not in one of them. So I'm going to be in one right here. And I sent you all that snap after. And when I finished that third leg, there's 5 of you lined up waiting for me, all with your phones out taking pictures and video.
We decided to do like a video inception kind of thing. Like I was in front and then Karen was behind me taking a video of me, like, so we were trying to get it 5 in a row.
I've yet to see it. I want to see it.
Well, I posted mine in the group photo drop thing that Jesse made.
The Google Doc.
Google's photos. Yep.
Okay,
the
cool.
shared drive. So at least mine's in there, but you got to get everybody else's.
Well, I got a kick out of it because I just sent that one like saying, well, the only way for me to get in one of these is if I just do it myself. And then about 4 miles later, there you all are with your cameras.
Unfortunately, I was not as good at content as you had hoped, but I got some stuff. I got a couple of you, but just not to your standards. We tried.
I was having a lot of fun trying to build content that I've yet to do anything with.
Yes.
But anyways, we'll move on. Mm-hmm. That third leg was my best leg, and I don't know why, but I just was... Well, the middle leg I felt the best, but every leg was longer and harder and more elevation, and I ran faster every time. Mm-hmm. Not going to brag, but I'll just give myself a little pat on the back. Well. For some reason, I did better as the runs went on.
You did the work.
I don't know about you.
I mean, actually, my time-wise, it was faster for that third leg, but I had more hills in the second one, so I'm more proud of my second leg.
Might have been the same. Might have been a little more elevation, number 2, but I was very happy with the way it turned out.
So, we had fun. Once we were done, it was just, we were ready to finish this thing up. When one thing that was memorable for me though, when Karen was getting ready to do her last leg.
Burpees.
She's such a beast. I love you, Karen. She's so fantastic.
Again, back to the burpees.
She must have done like five burpees, 3 burpees, and then she did them
7
right before she went. People are just looking at her like, how does she have energy for this right now?
Well, in CrossFit, I'll remember there'll be some WODs that will be like, hey, okay, here's your workout, but you got a 10 burpee buy-in that you got to do 10 burpees before you start your workout.
Oh, no way.
And then sometimes you'll have like instead of a buy-in, like a close, where you got to do 10 burpees to end your workout.
Oh.
And it could be anything. It could be squats,
well,
burpees,
that makes
push-ups.
sense now because you did yell 5 burpee buy-in. And I'm like, what?
And she did her 5, and then it took another couple minutes, and then right before everyone got there, she did 3 more. She crushed that run. Karen has some abs.
Yeah.
And this one girl sees her run by and go, holy cow, look at her, look at her abs. Oh my God. Just wanted to touch them and feel them. And she's like, oh my God, we met some cool people. That was the alias person, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which you already ruined it. You said her name. You going to beep it out? Oh, you could beep it out.
Mary Nicole.
You're going to forget which one's a real name and which one's not.
I swear it was the other way around.
Nope.
I don't know. We'll find out.
But anyways, this weekend, you were totally in your element. You were talking to everybody and anybody, and you were talking us up, and
I met so many cool people.
You were loving it.
I had so much fun throwing our magnet on the vans, and I loved
Frisbee
later.
style.
I love later seeing it. Oh, there's our logo. There it is. And we've had people comment and say, "I got your logo on my van. I got your magnet." We had people like look at it and then be like, "Wait a second, what is this?" And it was so, and then they'd like talk to us. And it would be so much fun to talk. And I would be like, "Well, there's my talent right there. That's the talent. There's Erica." And you'd be like, "Hi,
Hello."
The craziest part was we met one girl, Jennifer. Hopefully we get her on. She lives 5 miles from Michaela.
Yes.
In West Virginia.
What are the odds?
It was like she's all into it. She goes, "My husband hosts a podcast. I want to know about it." And then she says, "I'm from West Virginia." I go, "We just interviewed Michaela Schremschock from West Virginia." She goes, "I know Michaela."
Good job saying her last name, by the way.
Thank you. I've been working
It's better
on
than
it.
usual.
Practice. And yeah, we met other cool people, a whole mom's group from Southern California.
You know, it still it blows my mind that people will travel that far for these, but I guess it's not that much of a hard thing to do.
Rebecca from Orlando, Florida was driving behind us and sent us a video of Chili Billy on the top of the van doing a wild dance because he wasn't strapped down well enough. And he's like,
You could have make that a reel. You could do that to my pump up song, which is jump around, because we were playing that all weekend and that just got me in the mood.
Right before we left, I grabbed my second generation iPod that I've had since
So super old.
2005.
Yep.
And all the music on that was pre-2011.
Yep. It was
And
bringing us back to college days.
There was one playlist called DJ Mike B. who was
From Plymouth?
He was the DJ at the Lucky Dog at Plymouth State.
Nice.
And he made me like a burned CD of all his music when I worked at the Lucky Dog.
Nice.
And we were rocking that thing.
We needed it. We needed some pump up stuff after our first legs. We were all like just a little tired still, and
So just think all the club music from pre-2008 really.
Fat Man Scoop.
Crooklyn Clan.
Yes.
Is it Crooklyn Clan or Brooklyn Clan? We haven't figured
I'll
that
have to
out.
look that up. I don't actually know, but
That was fun.
it's so much fun.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Uh,
I'm really happy you dragged me along for this, and I
Yeah,
did it.
man.
I had a blast. You know, it was actually the first day I took off, the first full day I took off of my new job.
Worth it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Good.
It was a lot of fun. So I'm really happy you took me and brought me. I want to do it again. I want to eventually do every leg, so one day my Strava heat maps show the entire Reach the Beach. That's my goal. So that
All
could
right.
take potentially 7 more years if we just do the ultra, but
Yeah, okay.
I don't think we're going to do 7 years of the ultra. Sorry, Jay and Karen.
I don't know if I could do 7 years of ultra, but
I would like to do it 1 year.
we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm already debating whether or not I really would do it.
I have a suggestion for someone on our team if we do the ultra.
What?
Denise.
Okay.
Denise would be,
She can handle distance.
she'd be clutch.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get her on
Oof,
board.
that's like 40 something miles.
So we got you,
30 something,
me,
40.
Jay, Karen. That's 4, possibly Denise. So that we just need one more strong runner.
Okay.
All right. we
You're
could
up
do
for
this.
an ultra? You're up for it?
Well, yeah, I would absolutely be up for it. I mean, it's not an ultra.
Who would be our
ultra.
driver?
It's the Reach the Beach ultra. Great question. Jay's girlfriend,
Sure.
who we met at the finish line.
I was going to say either that or Dave. Let's get Dave. Can he drive a truck?
Dave.
A van?
Dave. Come on, Dave. Be our guy.
We're booking you for next.
Yes. Dave's
How fun.
genius.
That would be a blast.
So that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
7 of us in a. Oh man, we got cranky on this one.
We're going to be extra cranky.
Ah.
That's okay. It's worth it. But let's just go over how awesome we felt after we finished our legs, right? What did we do after?
Well,
we had a blast.
We got some beers. We got some seafood. We went to the beach. We took care of the van already, which was clutch again. Clutch is like the word of this
cannot believe
podcast.
we have not thought to do that beforehand, to clean everything out and actually like put stuff in the cars. And we just drove the van, the empty van. Well, we still had Chili Billy attached to the roof, but yeah, it was so awesome to just get that out of the way and clean. and then go to the beach and finish.
And so when we returned after the beach and the finish, we just dropped the van off, jumped in our cars, and drove off. No unpacking because it was already late. It was dark.
Yep. All we had to do was just deflate our buddy there. And, and then it was good to go.
We had to take Chili Billy down.
Yep.
Put him away for next year.
Yep. But yeah, we had a blast. We had a couple hours to kill before van 2 arrived. We had drinks and lunch and
hung out by the beach right next to
Karen went swimming in the ocean.
She's crazy. I would have froze my tits off.
I was freezing just watching you guys. I did not have my sweatpants with me, and
neither.
I sorely was missing them.
It got cold. It was cold and chilly there. And again, I was getting a little bit like, come on, van 2, let's go. I wanna
How
finish.
clutch are our sweatshirts, by the way?
Oh, if you let me tell you guys, you saw us out there.
You couldn't miss us.
The
We were
high
bright
vis.
yellow.
The neat fluorescent yellow. We maybe should have washed them before.
Well, that's okay.
It was all over me.
That's right. It kept sticking to the stubble on your head. Oh, I laughed so hard.
And not only that, but
you
on
look
my
like a
shirt,
Muppet.
whenever I put it on, it yeah.
I couldn't avoid laughing at that. I'm sorry. It was pretty good. Oh man.
I think others were laughing too. Occasionally people would walk by me and laughing. I'd be like, what's so funny? Is something wrong with my
You
hair?
have a big bird attached to the back of your head. That's what it is. But we finished as a team. We had a quick beer together, and then
We all wanted to get going home.
yeah, we were done. We were done. That's
Maybe
usually how it goes.
Maybe next year I'll reserve a campsite at the Hampton Beach campground. Bring the camper. We can hang out. It only would sleep enough for one of the vans, but
Meh.
it has heat.
That would be cool. Stuff to think about for next year.
Well, all right. That's our episode, everybody. No interview today. We got a big month in October. We're gonna get into it later.
Mm-hmm.
But let's send you off to Berlin. Any last thoughts before you catch your flight tomorrow morning? What time are you waking up in the morning?
Oh, my flight's not till later at night, but we got a lot of cleaning and packing to still do.
Oh.
So,
I thought you were leaving. So you got like a red eye to Berlin?
yep.
So you're going to land in Berlin Wednesday morning when this episode drops.
Yep, Wednesday morning. Yep. And I told you that if I can figure out time differences and whatnot, that I might give you a call via Facebook Messenger, maybe Instagram Live, and let you know how the race goes.
Let's live that up. Maybe we can get more listeners this time than just Katie and Dave.
I think I'm 6 hours ahead, so we'll see.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you could call me at like when you're about to go to bed.
I could call you right after the race, and I'll be like, hey, check out all the race
What
stuff.
time you think that will end?
Well, I start at 9:15. Thanks to my stellar London time, I get all the early corrals. I'm super pumped. So I get to start 9:15. That's like the first chunk of runners. Even for Chicago coming up, I have like Corral D. I get to start way earlier.
Okay.
So nice.
Sounds great. Well, you know the password for Instagram. It's so log in and give us some content, okay?
I'll see what I can do. I love it. I love it. But yeah, looking forward to it, guys. I will keep you posted on the trip.
And we'll talk to you in October 3rd or so, because
I think that's when we were going to drop a special episode.
yeah, because it was someone's birthday, so it like lined up perfectly.
Yes, it did.
So we're going to have a special logo for the month of October, and it might be a very special month. So stay tuned. We got more coming that I think everyone here is going to like. Thanks for listening. I know it was a little bit different today. No interview, but this was our Reach the Beach recap. I think we've gone longer than I even promised Erica would go.
He said half an hour. Where would we at? An hour or something?
Half an hour tops.
That's okay.
No,
It's nice to sit and relax for a few.
We're under an hour. Your house looks pretty clean too, by the way.
That's because I worked on it. I just don't have the packing part done yet. It's
right.
the cleaning part I was working on.
We'll get packing. Good luck
Yes.
in Berlin. Have fun.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Yes,
Come home in one piece.
I better.
Well, for all of you who found us over the weekend at Reach the Beach, you're welcome to follow us on our Instagram account at On The Runs.
Thank you for listening.
And that's the only one I'm really going to shout out for. We're on the other apps too. We're figuring it out.
That's the most important one.
Yeah. Instagram's where it's at. If you want to know what's going on with Erica's race in Berlin, it will be on Instagram. You can also follow her at,
I am Eham Shazam.
and she'll be posting, I hope. So fingers crossed. Have a great time.
Thank you.
And as you prep for Berlin, you shouldn't forget one thing. Erica?
Don't forget to stretch.
Team 73, Penguins Marching South, established 2016.
You like popsicles?